Imagine standing on the launch pad. You're about to be catapulted into the absolute unknown.
Yeah.
You're relying on complex data machine calculations. But what if the very first astronauts trusted a human mind to verify those machines?
Mm.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into a stack of sources that tell the incredible story of Katherine Johnson.
Amazing story.
She's the mathematician whose groundbreaking work at NASA didn't just chart the course for our space missions, but fundamentally built trust. Trust in the data, trust in the early computers that powered our journey to the stars.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to unpack how one woman's exceptional mathematical talent, her, relentless curiosity, and just sheer determination, how it transcended the limitations of her era
Absolutely.
and reshaped our understanding of what's possible, both, up in space and right here on Earth. We've gathered insights from biographies, historical accounts, even NASA's own archives.
It's really striking when you dig in. Katherine Johnson's journey, it isn't just like a story of mathematical brilliance, though it is that.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's also a pivotal chapter in how computing and data science actually evolved. She literally bridged the gap, between human precision and machine reliability.
That's a great way to put it.
And that process, it still echoes today, right? As we grapple with trusting AI and algorithms. Her story gives us this foundational lesson in data validation.
Okay, so let's unpack this right from the beginning. Katherine Johnson, born Creola Catherine Coleman back in 1918, White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia.
Right.
And she was clearly a prodigy from a very young age. But, her hometown didn't even offer public schooling for African-American students past the 8th grade.
Yeah, that's a stark reality.
It really is. So her family, they went to extraordinary lengths. They literally moved, packed up their whole lives to Institute, West Virginia.
Just so she could keep learning.
Exactly. Just so she could continue her education. I mean, what does that kind of commitment tell you? About the societal pressures, yes, but also the absolute premium placed on education back then.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? An unwavering belief in education as the path forward, especially when facing so many systemic barriers. And for Katherine, this meant starting high school at just 10 years old.
10.
On the campus of West Virginia State College, an HBCU. She graduated high school at 14.
Incredible.
Then by 15, she's enrolled at West Virginia State, just soaking up every single math course they offered.
And it wasn't just what she learned, was it? It was also who taught her. Tell us about her mentorship, particularly W. Schieffelin Claytor.
Yes. Claytor, the third African-American to get a PhD in mathematics. He saw her talent immediately.
He recognized it.
He did. And what's crucial here is he didn't just teach the standard stuff. He actually created special advanced math courses just for her.
Wow.
Including analytic geometry, which is basically turning geometry problems into algebra problems, describing shapes and movements with numbers.
A specific skill?
That skill became absolutely central to her later NASA work, plotting trajectories, understanding curves. This kind of foundational mathematical understanding, it wasn't just about solving problems someone else set up. It was about framing them, thinking in ways the early engineers and certainly the early computers just couldn't handle yet.
So she graduates summa cum laude at 18?
1937. Degrees in math and French.
That's just astounding. And her academic journey didn't quite stop there, did it? Though it was brief.
That's right. In 1939, there was that big Supreme Court ruling, Missouri ex rel, Gaines v. Canada. And following that, she was one of only 3 African-American students and the only woman picked to integrate West Virginia University's graduate school.
A really historic moment.
Truly. Now, she left not long after to focus on starting her family, but you're right, it wasn't the end of her learning. It was more like a pause.
Yeah.
It really speaks to her self-driven nature, her persistence. Despite all the barriers of the time, her mind was always going.
Always seeking challenges. So Katherine's dedication, it wasn't just for herself. After her daughters got a bit older, she actually went back to teaching for a while. But then this new opportunity comes up, 1952. A relative mentions job openings at NACA, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, precursor to NASA.
Right. And this is where things really start to accelerate.
Yeah, this is where her career really takes off.
Indeed. So she joins NEXI's Langley Research Center in '53. She steps into the human computers section.
The human computers.
A remarkable group, mostly women, many of them African-American, doing these incredibly complex calculations all by hand. Katherine herself called them, famously, computers who wore skirts.
That phrase just perfectly captures it, doesn't it? And she wasn't in that pool for long, was she?
No, not at all. Her deep grasp of analytic geometry made her stand out immediately. Indispensable, really.
So they assigned her temporarily.
Exactly. Temporarily assigned to an all-male flight research team. And as the sources kind of amusingly put it, they forgot to return me to the pool.
They knew her value.
Undeniable value, yeah.
Now, we have to talk about the context here. Segregation was the reality. There was a colored computers office, separate facilities.
Mm-hmm. The harsh reality of the time.
Yet, Katherine Johnson herself, she offered this really interesting kind of nuanced perspective. She said she didn't feel the segregation at NASA because everybody there was doing research.
Right.
You had a mission and you worked on it and it was important to you to do your job. How do we sort of square that with the history? What does it tell us about her focus?
That's such a crucial point to think about. Her statement, I think it shows incredible personal fortitude, focus.
Yeah.
While we absolutely acknowledge the systemic discrimination, her perspective suggests that for her, the intellectual challenge, the urgency of the mission, it could maybe compartmentalize those daily indignities.
Like the work itself created a different space.
Perhaps. Like her mind was so immersed in the numbers, the science, that the mission became the primary reality for her in that context. And that dedication was vital, especially when NASA became NASA in '58 and the digital computers started showing up.
And it wasn't just about the math she did. There's this really significant nugget, as you call it, in the sources about her fighting for authorship. That was a huge deal then.
Oh, absolutely huge. This really shows her assertiveness. You know, back then, women typically weren't allowed to put their names on scientific reports. It just wasn't done.
Unheard of.
Right. But her colleague, Ted Skopinski, he recognized her contribution was just unparalleled.
He knew who did the work.
Exactly. And he insisted she gets credit. Co-author credit on their 1960 report. It was called Determination of Azimuth Angle at Burnout for placing a satellite over a selected Earth position.
Wow. And that wasn't just any paper.
No way. It laid out the fundamental math, the equations, for figuring out exactly where a spacecraft would land.
So getting her name on that.
It was a pioneering victory, not just for her, but for all the women fighting for recognition as intellectual equals in that environment. It challenged the status quo.
Okay, so all this foundational work, this analytic geometry, fighting for credit. What did it mean for actually getting us into space? Where did her calculations really make the difference?
Well, her direct mission-critical work started almost right away with Project Mercury.
The first human space flights.
Exactly. Alan Shepard's 1961 Freedom 7 flight, the first American in space. She calculated the trajectory, the launch window.
Think about that pressure, the fate of the first American in space resting on her numbers.
Precisely. And she even plotted backup navigation charts by hand, just in case the electronics failed, which shows how thorough she was, thinking ahead.
But for a lot of people, the moment that really cemented her legacy, the iconic moment, is John Glenn's flight in 1962.
Ah, yes, the orbital flight.
Can you walk us through that? Why was it such an aha moment?
This is really where her reputation and the trust in her just shines. NASA was starting to use these new electronic computers for Glenn's orbital flight.
Cutting edge, but maybe a little scary.
Exactly. There was apprehension. These machines were new, complex, a bit of a black box still. And John Glenn, already a national hero, right? He famously said he refused to fly unless Johnson verified the calculations.
Oh, by hand.
By hand. Get Katherine to check the machine's numbers. This wasn't just about getting it right. It was about trust.
Human trust in the face of new technology.
Absolutely. Her verification was the ultimate stamp of approval. It built crucial foundational confidence in these new electronic systems when it mattered most.
It wasn't just checking the math, it was validating the whole concept of using computers for something this critical.
You nailed it. Her accuracy was literally the bridge, from human calculation to machine-driven spaceflight.
So her calculations got us off the ground, but they were also crucial for bringing astronauts home, right? Especially in emergencies.
Precisely. Her work was absolutely critical for the Apollo moon landing program, too.
Apollo 11.
She helped calculate the trajectory for the moon landing itself in '69, and then Apollo 13, 1970.
The one that went wrong.
Okay.
Houston, we have a problem.
That one. When the mission was aborted after the explosion, her work on backup procedures, backup charts, she even created this one-star observation system the astronauts could use. It was essential for getting that crew back safely.
Wow.
Her quote about it is famous. Everybody was concerned about them getting there. We were concerned about them getting back.
That says it all. Complete focus on mission success and safety.
Right. And later, she worked on the Space Shuttle program, the Earth Resources Satellite ERS, later called Landsat, and even early plans for sending humans to Mars.
So if we connect this back to today, data, machine learning, AI, what's the core lesson from her role in validating those early computers?
I think the core takeaway is really profound. Katherine Johnson was instrumental in that bridge we talked about. Human mathematical precision meeting emerging machine computation. Her insistence on verification and John Glenn's absolute trust in her, specifically, it established these critical practices for validating data systems, practices we still rely on.
Built confidence when lives were on the line.
Exactly. It paved the way for the data-driven world we live in now. Her reputation for accuracy, it instilled vital trust in new technology when it was most needed.
It's a reminder, isn't it? Even with the smartest algorithms, that human layer of critical review, of verification, it's still paramount.
Absolutely paramount.
So Katherine Johnson retired in 1986, after 33 years. And she famously said, "I loved going to work every single day."
What a thing to be able to say after such a long career.
And the world definitely took notice of her contributions, especially later in her life.
Oh, the recognition was extensive.
Yeah.
And so well-deserved. 2015, the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama.
Our nation's highest civilian honor.
Citing her as a pioneering example of African-American women in STEM, noting her refusal to be limited by society's expectations of her gender and race. Just powerful words.
Then the Silver Snoopy Award in 2016.
Which is special because it's given by the astronauts themselves for contributions to flight safety and mission success.
And the Congressional Gold Medal in 2019. Another huge honor.
The highest civilian award from Congress. And the honors continued after she passed away. National Women's Hall of Fame in 2021. National Aviation Hall of Fame just this year, 2024.
Wow. And NASA facilities named after her. Schools. Even a satellite, right?
Right.
And a Cygnus spacecraft.
Yes, all named in her honor. And of course, many people know her story now from the movie Hidden Figures.
Great film. Taraji P. Henson played her.
Right. And Katherine Johnson herself got that standing ovation at the 2017 Oscars. Her reaction to the film was typically humble, wasn't it?
Yeah, she just said, "It was well done. The three leading ladies did an excellent job portraying us."
Class act.
What's really fascinating about her legacy, though, it goes way beyond just the technical stuff, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. In her later years, she spent so much time actively encouraging students, especially young people, to go into STEM fields. Science, technology, engineering, math.
Made him a real role model.
A profound role model,
Yeah.
showing that, relentless curiosity, plus that sheer determination, it can overcome immense barriers.
Yeah.
And her story, it doesn't just highlight her individual achievement. It shines a light on the often unseen contributions of whole groups, particularly African-American women, who are just foundational to these historic moments.
Whose work went unrecognized for way too long.
Exactly. Her life is this powerful reminder that talent is everywhere, but opportunity isn't always. And the impact of providing those opportunities, it's just immeasurable.
So we've really journeyed through Katherine Johnson's life, haven't we? From that child prodigy overcoming segregation in West Virginia, right up to being this foundational figure in human spaceflight.
An incredible arc.
Her calculations for Shepard, that personal verification for John Glenn, the critical work on Apollo. It wasn't just numbers, was it? It was about building faith, faith in the unknown, faith in new tech, and faith in the power of the human mind. Her impact resonates not just in space exploration, but in how we even think about integrating human intelligence with machine intelligence today.
I think Katherine Johnson's story, it fundamentally shifts how we think about data, what it means, how we interact with it.
How so?
Well, it reminds us that behind every equation, every algorithm, every single trajectory, there's a human mind, a critical thinker, someone making sense of it all.
Right.
Her legacy really asks us a tough question for today. In this world that's becoming more and more AI-driven, where maybe we trust algorithms a bit too easily sometimes,
Yeah.
how do we keep cultivating, how do we keep valuing that uniquely human ability for verification, for critical thinking, for the insightful framing of problems that just defined her entire amazing career?
That's a really powerful question.
It's a call, maybe, to look beyond the algorithm. Remember the human element that built the trust in the technology in the first place.
A truly thought-provoking note to end on. We definitely invite you to delve deeper into Katherine Johnson's life and the lives of all the hidden figures who shaped history. This has been The Deep Dive, and we really hope you found some fascinating nuggets to carry with you.